No, that's fine.
That's how we did it before.
No, that's fine. No, not a worry. Okay, so he said he likes if you double his name and call him Bobo. You ever call him Bobo?
I call him Turbo.
Oh, okay.
But, okay.
Because he's like, I don't mind if you double it. Oh, are you waiting for your trainer?
He needs to come listen, yeah.
Okay.
Spot on.
No, Tony, I want you to listen. Crazy horse is getting rid. Okay, go.
Jenna's going to do
Okay, so he said someone started him big time, and then they didn't do anything with him, and then restarted him again. Is that when you got him?
Yeah, I've been restarting.
Okay, because he said that there was a gap, like he didn't do anything for a while.
Yes.
And he said, and it was actually a good thing because he kind of learned how to be a horse and to play and all that kind of stuff. And he said someone else had some majorly huge plans for him, which he was not into. You know, like let's go almost to the Olympics kind of thing. He's like, no, I don't want stress like that. Because he likes to play too. So do you let him go out there and play with stuff? Like I would get the ball for him and all. And if you don't do that, he's like, well, then I'll play while you're on me, which I don't want to do. And you're kind of like, I don't have time for this. And he's like, oh boy, she's getting really excited. You know, and see, here's the thing that I had to learn, and I remind people all the time. Animals, all of them, see anger and excitement as excitement. So if you get pissed off, they think that that's a good thing. They're not getting that you're mad, they're just getting that you're really animated. So you're better off staying as calm as possible, which I know is not easy.
Yeah.
Or if you can't get through to him, get off. There's not a horse that's ever said to me, good for me. If he's having a moment, get off and have him go, thanks, I got that, and you got it, now get back on. Because he's had other people that try to battle him. And there are some situations where you stay on and move forward, but not with him. Because he said he can spring like a pogo stick. So you better have crazy glue in your lungs to stay on. Because he, wow, he is a handful. And can spin like this. So I said, okay. All right, so I asked him what he wants to do, and he said he wants to do mostly jumping. Is that what you got him for, or you want to do something else with him?
That's what I bought him for, but some obstacles have come in.
Okay.
You can ask him.
Okay, all right. Well, he said to watch this knee. He's worried
Which
about
one?
this knee, this left front knee. He's had some issues in there.
Okay.
He also has some changes on both pasterns. He's got some navicular changes, so have you had him x-rayed for that?
We did.
Okay, because he said he's got changes there. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a
He
career.
doesn't have it, yeah.
Well, he does have some changes now. So how long ago did you have him x-rayed?
May 13th.
Of this year?
May 13th, 2013.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And they did do his full hoof?
They did everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it feels like there's changes there, so
Okay.
just be aware of that. And he's feeling unbalanced on that side. He said a lot of it, he said when he was younger, he would throw a temper tantrum and just drop to the ground, and so he's done some things to his body and kind of thrown himself off. And then I asked him about doing dressage, and he was like, that's for sissies. And I said, well, some people do cowboy dressage, and he's like, well, maybe I would do that. I don't know. So that was the first couple of places he wanted to go. And then the other place I want to watch with him is his shoulders. So, okay, so one way you can clear some muscle stress is you put your hand here, this is where your vet takes blood, and you hold here to calm him down because it's a calming, and then you start to get here and you can really start working the muscles. So did you ride him today?
No.
Okay. All right, when was the last time he was ridden? Yesterday?
No.
Because he shouldn't be reacting like this unless he was just ridden. So how long has it been? A while?
A week.
Okay. Okay, so he's had a saddle that's kind of done this to him, which, a lot of horses are hard to fit. And do you ride in her stuff, or you ride in your stuff?
I haven't ride this horse for a long time.
Okay. Because he said there was, at one point, a trainer that rode in that saddle really pinched him, so that's why I was asking. I didn't know if it was him or somebody else. Okay, so maybe it was before. So see, he's got a lot. So have you had him adjusted? Because he really does need a chiropractic adjustment.
No, I haven't.
Okay. I don't know who you use. There's a lot of great people. But like his atlas and axis is somewhat out, and also his TMJ over here is out, and that would correspond to both front feet. So right here, see how tender he is right there. So I don't want to get you all upset. I'm not going to adjust you. So before anybody really gets back on him, that's what he's asking for. And then I asked him if he's competitive, and he goes, when I feel good, I am. I mean, it's like it's all or nothing with him. So, and then he said, oh my God, I hope she's not going to get rid of me. Are you at that place with him now that you're worried you might have to get rid of him? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot. He's asking. And if it's not the right fit, it's not the right fit.
No, not for those reasons.
Okay.
Medical purposes.
Okay.
That I'll get to those questions. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm more concerned about what's going on in his front feet. I mean, I'm glad you had him x-rayed and all that other kind of stuff, but those are the places he wants to complain to me about. And at this point, he's kind of like, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? So, okay, so what other things can I ask him for you? What would you like to know from him?
Why isn't he friendly with other horses as far as he does a certain pattern? You can ask him what he does.
He said, well, my horse mom told me don't mess with other horses. So he learned really early on not to really play with other horses. So he showed me like coming like this to them, like the jaws of death, you know. And some horses are like some people. They're introverts. They don't want to be around a lot of other horses. So, and he said with one horse, he actually backed up and popped him once. So, I mean, he's just, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, again, it would be nice, and in a situation where you have lots of horses and stuff like that, but he hasn't really had a lot of horse life experience where it's been productive for him because his horse mother was always like, get behind me, don't get near anybody, and she had that attitude, so he's learned really young, unfortunately, at a young age, you know, so, okay. All right, so.
Can you ask him about his friend behind him?
You mean behind him here, right here? This guy? Well, he said he just never wants to leave me alone. He's the one going, what are you doing? I'm peeing. What are you doing? I'm taking a nap. What are you doing? You know.
It's a she. He gets really excited about, which is why I wanted to know if he's been gelded late, because he gets very.
I think there's some issues with that too, yeah. I mean, I don't feel like he's a cryptocrat and stuff like that. But he also says that there are times that she's just like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm trying to take a nap. Like, what all is that about? So, okay, so you're keeping him as far as, because he keeps asking me about that. And whoever comes out to do a chiropractic adjustment, have them look at your equipment first, because they'll do that just to make sure he's sitting on his back, because like I said, he shouldn't be this tense here. Afterwards, you should do some stretches, have them show you how to do that. And then he's worried that he's holding you back, that you're not getting your riding in. So are you riding somebody else now while he's doing this?
Yeah, because there's issues with his health as far as, which I want to ask him.
Okay, so what is it that you want
We
to ask
went
him?
through a whole Lyme disease course.
Okay,
He's been like tripping and falling.
okay.
Yesterday something happened, it was really bad, so that was
Okay, so he's done with the Lyme disease treatment.
That's
He's
what the
had
doctor said.
Okay.
And now we're on vitamin E, but
Okay.
what's happening, he's falling. It's not tripping, it's falling. So
falling all the way
it's
down.
not that I don't want to ride him, I'm
Right,
just
it's not
scared.
safe. No, I totally get that.
And
Okay.
his bones and everything is completely, I mean, they did the bone scan
Good.
and
I'm
everything.
glad they
Everything
did it.
is,
He's just feeling
is 100%.
unbalanced. And so it may be, sometimes I'll get that if their TMJs are out. So those little bones have a lot to, so when I lecture to people, when we get in an elevator, everybody gets into their different spot, and they feel uncomfortable because we have an inner ear balance. They do too. And these two little bones on either side of their ears correspond to this leg and that leg. And if they're slightly out of balance, it'll cause them to feel off balance. So that may be what I'm getting. So I'm glad you did all that. And he also has pressure in his ear too, so that's where that's coming from. And then they won't get into a trailer, and then sometimes they will actually fall down, things like that. I don't feel like he's narcoleptic. And as far as Lyme disease, it feels like you did treat that. So where do we go from here? That's the next step. And so now you might want to do like some vitamin C for him also, and get him. But I think once you have someone do an adjustment, the fact that he reacts so much. So it's very much like getting your tires rotated, but not getting your front end aligned. It pulls off to one side. It's a kind of an exaggerated view. But I think now that's the next step I would take.
So I should do chiropractic, and then they do the TMJ as well?
Yes. And when was the last time he had his teeth done? How long ago has it been since he's had his teeth done?
Meryl was
been
here
within a
last
year.
spring or something, right?
Yeah,
He's
I was here
okay.
when they
Good,
did it.
okay. Because every time you get their teeth done, you should always get them adjusted. Most people don't know that either. Because even if it's a minor float, that vibration can cause those bones to go slightly out. So if they're ever off balance in their front end, that's the first place I go to first. So, and the other acupressure point is right here, and he's like doing Operation Reflex with him. So, okay, so I would definitely get him adjusted. That's the next thing. And then once you've done that, then you can always call me back and I can ask him how he's doing. And you're right to stay off of him. So, because I asked him, has he had a seizure? He said no. And all he kept saying was, oh, okay, like a marionette. I kind of came out from underneath myself, so that's what's going on. But I feel like you got the Lyme disease, and there was a time we didn't even have a test for Lyme disease. So, and if you're going to do acupuncture, might be a good thing later too, to kind of get his energy going up. So, okay.
How's his neck?
The other place where it's right here. That's where he's tender. So, I mean, you're kind of at a point with him in his life where, and he kept saying, I know I did a lot of this to myself. As a baby, he had temper tantrums. So when he would fall to the ground, so the fact that he released tension there, that says a lot. So he's kind of like an athlete that's been banged up and bruised and now wants to be a sportscaster. What do I do now with my life? But all of that can be taken care of. So I think you did everything systematically that you needed to do. You got the lines out of the way, and I think it was really being affected. And the rest of his liver seems like it's okay. Oh, I spoke too soon. So does he get hives down here too?
We're trying to figure out what
That's
that is.
recently it's
Yeah.
happening.
Okay, that's coming from the meds, which he needed to have. So the liver's job is anger, frustration, but chemical detoxification. So because he had those medications, now we got to clear his liver, and you do that by putting him on a milk thistle cleanse, and you can do that through silver lining or help nerves, and it takes about 3 months completely to clear out. But that's where the hives are coming from, because now his body's getting rid of all that chemicals. So I can do some Reiki on him. So, and I was asking him, he said that he used to do some head shaking too when you first got him.
A
Was
lot.
it- yeah, so I think that was a surge of Lyme, and then it went away and came back kind of thing. So you did the right thing by getting it cleared out now. So,
Is his
okay.
hind end okay? 'Cause he had a little accident there.
He said I'm a little stiff, but he's more embarrassed than anything else.
So
You know,
I remember
he was
that.
like, "That's awful. I mean, he doesn't want to do anything for you to get hurt. He doesn't want to get hurt." He was like, "Oh my God, that was embarrassing." So okay.
So he wants to jump.
He thought he'd be good at it. You know, he's like, he's not like this, but he thought he'd be good enough at it. But initially, when he was younger, someone had some huge plans for him, really big plans.
Does he like trail?
He said, I'm feeling better about it now. If I have another horse that I can kind of be buddies with, I feel better about it. You know, I mean, he'd like to feel more confident, and people ask me that all the time, does my horse trust me? Well, they do trust us right away. They don't trust their own response to a situation.
So he's not ready to retire.
No, he doesn't want to. He's hoping that he can be serviceable. He's like, because I don't want to be away from here. He goes, you guys have too much fun here. I don't want to leave. So, okay, so all I'm doing now is just trying to give him some Reiki energy, and, you know, he may be a little bit more full of himself, but nothing else should happen from that, so I'm waiting for him to just like, okay, so he's done with that side. So we should do your other side when you're here. Okay.
He squeals and kicks all the time. In
Okay.
his stall, with horses,
Okay.
all the time. And it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he does it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think I definitely get that he was cut proud a little bit too. And sometimes, like because I was working at a cat hospital too, is if one couple pieces of tissue attaches itself to someplace else, it can still radiate that guy energy kind of thing. So, and I wish I had a homeopathic remedy for that. There's a vet on my website, Dr. Denise, that you could email her and ask her about that. She might be able to suggest, because I've only had boys, but I never had a boy that did that. So,
So it's a stallion thing, kind of?
yeah, that's what it feels like. He just feels like he has to be overprotective all the time.
And my last question is, why doesn't he like views?
So what does he like?
Why does he not like view? He won't take it in any kid.
He said it just makes him sick to his stomach. I mean, it's such a regular routine drug, but it really kind of bothers his stomach pretty badly. And if it's anything paste, he said even with dewormers, he would be there. He's like, I'm afraid of choking on something. So were you trying to do the powder with like applesauce? You probably tried everything.
I've tried everything and he won't take. He's too smart. He outsmarts me. And I try to put it in carrots. He spits it out.
Yeah. I know some of them are like, this is where I wish I could tell him.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work on husbands either. Yeah, but what I did was I took him back to the first time he ever had anything paste-wise. And he said it got stuck in my throat and I thought I was going to choke and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so, let's see. I was going to see if I can do like a EFT with him. Have you ever heard of emotional freedom technique or tapping? No.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you either take them to a situation that they're afraid of or recreate it, which I think with him we can kind of recreate it. And so, so you get to the moment. I'm going to get to the moment where I'm going to show him about giving him his food and then do tapping. So we'll see if we can get that. Because I asked him if he wants help with it. He goes, "I'm sorry about being such a big pain in the butt."
Yeah, warming's not fun.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Oh my God, he's actually moving his butt. Okay, so.
These twitches are weird too. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking maybe some acupuncture. So here. Okay. Now you start doing this 35 times.
Okay.
And halfway through, they kind of look at you like, what the heck are you doing to me? Because tapping them on their forehead or any place else safe without getting run over produces an endorphin rush. And then we're going to get to a place where hopefully we can anchor it so that he's not doing it as much. And you can only do this twice in one day, so you kind of pick your battles. Okay, so now we'll just wait until he starts to use his lips a little bit. And then I would say the next time, you know, he said all you have to do is like show him the bottle, and then you get that, you know. And if for some reason halfway through you can't reach his head and I don't want him running over you, you can kind of go down to his shoulder bones. Okay, that's what you want. Now we're going to wait for him to lick. So I would start doing that because there is going to be a time where he really does need to have it. And we want to get him over the feeling of the choking part. So that's how fast you do it. And it works for blue tarps or getting in a trailer or something like that. So nice. So I think your next stop is a chiropractor, buddy. Yeah. He's like, I just want to be normal.
Yeah,
You're
so
kind
do
of like
I.
the other horse that wants to be normal too.
I want to ride him too.
Well,
I
yeah,
do.
you're being safe. You're absolutely being
Uh-huh,
safe.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. That was a pretty big loop because he's looked twice now. So.
As long as he wants to stay with me and get back into
Well,
it,
if
we're
nothing
gonna
else,
get back
if we
into
can get him together
Stable.
so we can decide what to do. I mean, that's what I would project at the moment because they don't know the future. But you know, he's just like, okay, let's see where we can go with this, and God bless him. Okay, and let's see if we can really get him worked on so that he feels better because a lot of it he did to himself before you ever knew him, and that's not your fault or responsibility.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. So at least I think you got the lines out of the way. I think that needed to go, and it's just like a virus in your computer. It's really the same thing. Now we need to get his liver balanced and get him adjusted and see what happens.
Milk
So,
thistle.
yeah, I'll write it down for you. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Milk thistle.
And I need a good chiro.
Yeah. I don't know anybody else. I
Can ask.
Yeah, I think Don Moore comes out here. He's very good. Dr. Ugardi, I don't know if he comes this way because he's in Santa Barbara. There's a bunch of them. I think Don comes out this far, though. He's in St. Clemente, but he comes up to LA. Or Dr.
He loves her.
So, oh, yeah. Well, because she actually kind of reminds him of his mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Did you hear that?
Dr.
Zippy.
Merle?
Yeah.
No, Zippy.
Oh, Zippy. Oh.
But when he went in there, they battled it out. Well, you said it. They killed
Right.
each other.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he just wants her over the fence kind of thing. Okay, so let me put Dr. Ugardi's number here. And Dr. Ugardi also does acupuncture, so that may be 963.
Thank you.